Hello friends, welcome to A to Z Learning channel. If I ask you one question, that what is the one word that comes to your mind when you think about savings and investment? Most responses that I have picked up in all my interactions with various people are along the lines complex, technical, too many numbers, and boring. And if your answer is also along the similar line, then you're not alone. Most people think about savings and investment world exactly the same way as you're thinking. And today's video is focused on that challenge, that reputation that investing world has in people's mind. In today's video, we are going to be sharing with you very simple 10 thumb rules. Yeah, I repeat, it is thumb rules. So these are not going to give you the absolutely correct answer, but it will be very close to that accurate answer. So from a day-to-day perspective, understanding the direction, understanding what is good for you, these thumb rules will help you get those answers fairly confidently, fairly accurately. So it's going to be a very important video. So please stay with us until the end of the video. And if you have any questions or suggestions on this video, then please use the comments to let us know what your suggestions are or what your questions are on this video. And I would say if you've not subscribed our channel A to Z Learning as yet, I would urge you to subscribe that so that you get the notification about our new videos as soon as they are published. So without any further delay, let's start our video where we're going to be talking about the 10 simple thumb rules which are important in the world of investing. First rule is the rule of 72. We all want to know that if we choose certain investment options, how much our money will grow and how long would it take for it to double, for example. So that question comes in our mind very regularly. When you go to the bank, people talk about you will get X percentage interest or Y percentage interest if you choose this and that. But in day-to-day perspective, I want to know what will be my money in 5 years, or when will my money be doubled if I pick this option or that option. So this is your first thumb rule, which helps you understand how much time it will take for your money to be doubled. Yeah, I repeat. This rule, this thumb rule tells you how much time it will take for you to get your money doubled. It's a very simple rule. You take the number 72 and divide by the interest rate that you are getting. Whatever is the answer, that answer is the number of years it will take for your money to be doubled. So let's understand it with an example now. Say you are invested in equity mutual fund, which gives you an interest or income of say 12% every year. To know if you stay invested in that fund, how much time it will take for your money to be double, you take 72 divided by 12 because 12% is the return you're getting on investment, mutual fund investment. Answer will be 6. So 6 year is what it will take for your money to double if you stay invested in a equity mutual fund that is giving you 12% return. Hope it's making sense. Let's understand with another example. Say you put some money in bank fixed deposit, which earns you say 6% every year. So let's see how much time it will take for you to double that money. So you take 72 divided by 6 because 6% is now the interest that you're getting on FD. 72 divided by 6 is basically 12. So it will take 12 years for you to double your money. So if you're thinking about a future objective and you know that you want to kind of keep it in a bank fixed deposit and say it's giving you 6%, you need to make sure that you keep enough money now so that 12 years later it is doubled. I hope the simple explanation of how to calculate the time it will take for money to double has been helpful. Let's take the key takeaway from this slide, which is time to double your money is equivalent to 72, this number, divided by the interest rate or the income that you are getting on your investment. Now the question comes is that what is the formula? What is the thumb rule if I want to know what time it will take for my money to be triple or quadrupled? Very simple. You take the rule of 114, 114 if you want to calculate the time it will take for your money to be tripled. So it's simply you take, say, if you are investing in mutual fund 12% every year, you divide 114 by 12, it gives you a 9.5. So 9.5 years time, an investment that is giving you 12% return, your money will be tripled. Now let's talk about quadruple. That's where the thumb rule third comes. You replace that 114 number with 144. If you use 144, an equity investment of 12% return generating will take you 12 years to quadruple your money, 4 times of your initial investment. So if you invest, say, 100,000 now, and it gives you 12% return, after 12 years, your money will be 400,000. So 4 times your initial investment. So these three rules, rule of 72, rule of 114, and rule of 144, help you decide what time period it will take for money to be doubled, tripled, or quadrupled. Hope it's been helpful. Now let's talk about rule of 70. From day-to-day perspective, we know that there is a enemy called inflation. Basically, inflation, what it does is it takes away the buying power from your money. So if your money is worth, say, 100 rupee today, next year it will be reduced by the rate of inflation. So say inflation is 10%, the money, this 100 rupee will be able to buy you 90 rupees worth of goods next year. So inflation is a silent killer. It's a silent eroder of your wealth, eroder of your money. And rule of 70 helps you decide, help you determine what time it takes for your money's value or money's buying power to be half, right? So whatever is the money you have today, that value of that money will be half by using the rule of 70 you would know in how much time. So let's understand. So you simply take 70 and divide it by the current inflation rate. Whatever is the number that you get, that number is basically the number of years it will take for your money value to be halved. Let's understand with an example. Let's say inflation is 7%. So when the money will be half, you divide 70 by 7, so it gives you the answer 10. So your money's value will be half in 10 years time. So if we now understand with a monetary example, say let's say you have 50,000 rupees now and current inflation rate is 7%. Using the thumb rule, like 70 divided by 7, you know that it will your money will be money's value will be half in 10 years. So after 10 years in this example, your 50,000 will be worth only 25,000. It does not mean that somebody will take your 25,000 rupees. You will still have 50,000 rupees in your hand, but the value, the goods that it will be able to purchase in the market will be worth 25,000 rupees of today's money. So it will be halved. Hope it makes sense. So for calculating the formula, keep in mind times money value to be half is equivalent to 70 divided by inflation rate. So that's called thumb rule of 70. Now let's understand some of the thumb rules which are used to in the kind of investment world. So let's say rule of 10-5-3. This rule is basically helps you understand what is the typical return you can have. So 10, 5 and 3. where 10 represents the long-term equity mutual fund. Again, none of these returns are guaranteed. These are thumb rules. So if you're thinking about mutual fund, you can think about a return of about 10%. If you're thinking about a debt mutual fund or a fixed deposit or those sort of debt instruments, bonds and all that, then 5 is is a good proxy or representation of the current rate of return. If you're thinking about saving bank account, then 3 can be a good representation of rate of return that you can get. So 10, 5, 3 is what you keep in mind. So if say you go and talk to your friend and they say that invest in equity mutual fund, you can immediately think about 10% return. If you think about opening a new bank account and keeping some money there, you should think about that it will give you say 3% return. So mutual fund, debt basically includes bonds, fixed deposits, and of course debt mutual fund. So that's about 5% return, and then 3% is the saving. So the rule of 10-5-3 in a very simple manner help you understand what sort of return you can get in various instruments that are available in the market. So that's the rule number 5. Now let's understand rule number 6, which is emergency fund rule. We all must keep aside some money, as the name suggests, to meet our needs for emergency uses. That could be because we have lost our job. That could be because all of a sudden that big hospitalization expense has come because somebody in the family is ill. Uh, so there could be any reason that you have an emergency and you need to spend uh, significant amount of money. So you need to always keep a certain amount of money aside for that emergency need. Typically, I think the rule is that you should kind of first calculate what is your monthly expense on account of your fixed expenses, like your rent. If you are living in your own house, but it has got mortgage, then what is the interest you are paying? So you should count that. Food bills, what are your grocery bills for your monthly expenses? What are your food related, like how many times you eat out, those sort of expenses? Are there any other EMIs that you pay, like car EMI or personal loan EMI or bike EMI, computer EMI? Sometimes people take their white goods like a refrigerator, washing machine, things like that on EMIs as well. So what are your EMIs and what are your utility expenses, like your telephone bill, your electricity bill, your broadband bill these days, which is also a key utility? You should have a number in mind that what is your monthly expense. Say, let's say your monthly expense is 20,000. You should always keep 9 to 12 times of that amount as your emergency. I would always say keep 12 times, 12 months as an emergency, but I think 9 is a minimum that you should have. And you should keep this money not sitting idle. You should still keep this money in a place where you are earning some money, but you need to make sure that this money is immediately accessible when you need it. So you can't kind of block it in a house. You can't block in a instrument which will take say 5 days for you to kind of get your hands on the money. So where you can keep it, you can keep it in saving bank account, you can keep it in a fixed deposit account, and you keep it in a reputed bank so that you don't have the risk of bank not able to pay you when you need it immediately. So that sort of kind of thumb rule of keeping 9 to 12 months of your monthly expenses as emergency fund is very, very important. Now let's move to the next rule. 100 minus your age rule. This is the thumb rule number 7. 100 minus your age rule basically tells you how much exposure, how much money you should invest in the equities. So basically this rule help you decide your asset allocation, how much you should keep in your fixed deposit or other debt instrument or equities. So 100 minus your age rule is a very good proxy to know what sort of equity investment or debt investment you should have. So for example, your age is say 35, 100 minus 35 would be 65. So 65% should be your maximum equity allocation, and the balance 35% should be in the debt instrument, which could be fixed deposit, saving bank account, those sort of things. Again, some of these things I would say that these are thumb rules. Clearly, your other circumstances, how much saving, investment, protection you have elsewhere, can also help you decide the asset allocation. But in a normal man's life, normal woman's life, where you don't have huge amount of protection, where you don't have family to look after you, or you don't have like stashes of money lying in your bank account and all that stuff, so you are a kind of person who's living paycheck to paycheck. In those cases, these sort of rules, these sort of thumb rules are very helpful. Now let's talk about the eighth thumb rule, which is retirement rule. 10% for retirement rule. I know when you start working, planning for retirement is the last thing that you have in mind, but you have to plan it early enough so that you make sure that you will have enough saved when you are actually retired. So how do you come up with what is enough? The simple thumb rule is that you should always save for your retirement 10% of your income. You should take 10% of your monthly income, say your monthly income is 20,000, then take 2,000 rupees every month and save it. But increase it every year by 10% more. So you 10% rule is take the 10% of your monthly income and save it for retirement, and then keep increasing it each year by 10%. So if you're starting with 2000 rupees saving, second year make it 2200, it gone up by 10%. Year after, third year, make it 2500, so that it's again increased by 10% and so on. So if you do that, then you will have enough for your retirement corpus, and you'll have a comfortable retirement life. Now you could have your parents who retired, or you could yourself be retired. So, and we all get corpus because of the gratuity payment or retirement payment or PF payments. All that kind of gives us a basically a big corpus that we need to survive our entire retirement life on. So this thumb rule number 9 help you decide how much you should withdraw, so that you make sure that you don't run out of money during your retirement period. You have always got money which will definitely last your retirement period, or it could be beyond. So if you follow a 5% rule, withdrawal rule, then chances are you're more likely that you will always have your money in your hand during your retirement age. You won't run out of money during your retirement period, or you won't be dependent on other family members for your retirement needs. So how do you calculate? Basically, the rule of 5% is that you withdraw 5% and you increase it every year by 5%. Like we understood for retirement, when you were planning for retirement, 10% save and then increase it by 10% every year. Here, you're withdrawing money, you withdraw at 5% for first year, then keep increasing it by 5%, then definitely, and if you don't need to increase, fantastic, you will have more money. But if you feel that due to inflation, your money value is reducing and all that, you need to increase it, you can increase it, but make sure that you increase it by only 5%. So let's say you had at the time of retirement 1 crore of corpus, 1 crore of fund was available. In the first year, you should withdraw 5%, which means 5 lakh rupees. That roughly means 41,600 rupees per month. Second year, you can increase it by 5%, means overall for the whole year, you'll have 5.25 lakh to withdraw, which means monthly 43,750. So if you do this, then you are guaranteed to have enough money for your entire retirement life. Hope it's been helpful. Now let's talk about the last and final rule. In my social interactions, I get this question all the time, that how do I know whether I'm wealthy or not? How much is enough to be considered that yeah, you are wealthy? There is a simple thumb rule to that as well. And what is that? You should multiply your age with your annual income, multiply your age with your annual income, and whatever is the result, divide that by the 10, a number 10. So let's understand with an example. Say your age is 30 years and your annual income is 8 lakh rupees, right? So 30 times 8, 30 is your age, 8 lakh is your income. So 240 comes the number, 30 times 8 is 240. Then divide 240 by 10. So if you have savings worth 24 lakh rupees, you can consider yourself wealthy. In all the technical jargons, you will be considered a wealthy person. So that's the simple way to know whether you are wealthy or not. I hope you have found this simple explanation of 10 thumb rule helpful. If you have any question, please do let us know through the comments what your questions are. If you really like the content of our video, then please do like our video and provide comments so that that helps us get the useful encouragement to make similar videos in the future as well. And last but not least, if you've not subscribed our channel A to Z Learning, then I would urge you to subscribe so that you get our new videos immediately notified to you as soon as they are published. So thank you so much. Enjoy the world of savings and investment. Thanks.